How's it going, Toons of the world? It's your pal Mega Snoop bringing you another Toontastic video today. And today I figured I'd bring you another helpful video. It's been a while since I've done one of those, right? This is kind of geared towards the newer player, or maybe if you're trying to make a second toon, or a third toon, or a fifth toon, or a seventh toon, or a ninth toon. And I think if you've made 9 toons already, you probably know this, but I'm going to go over it anyway. So I'm going to go over the most helpful gag selections to do when you're going through Toontown. Now, if you don't know, when you run through Toontown, you get to choose different gag tracks to train for. You only start with 2, Throw and Squirt, but you get to earn more as you progress through the game. The first one you get is in Toontown Central, and it's to choose between Tune Up and Sound. The second one is in Donald's Dock, and you get to choose between Drop and Lure. The third one is not even in Daisy's Garden, though, because it skips over Daisy's Garden, and it goes to Minnie's Melody Land. And in Minnie's Melody Land, you have a choice between the one you didn't choose in Toontown Central, whether it be Tune Up or Sound, and Trap. And then the last one you get is in the Burg, and that will be the decision between the last 2 that you haven't gotten, whether it's the one from Drop and Lure that you didn't choose, and then between Tune Up, Sound, and Trap, the one you didn't choose from there. And the most common gag selections leave tunes with either trapless or dropless, and those seem to be the 2 most common tune types in all of Toontown. And I'll talk about like the gag selection process to get there as well, but I do realize that there are also lureless tunes and soundless tunes and tune-upless tunes, and I think I'll even go through the gag choices to help you get to there as well. Before I even get into depth about any of those though, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the first gag choice between tune-up and sound. Now, I know most of you guys are anticipating that I'm going to tell you to choose sound, and I know most people will choose sound. Here's the thing though, and I might be alone on thinking this, but genuinely I believe you don't need sound in the early game. You know what you do need in the early game? Tune-up. You know why you need tune-up in the early game? Because you have low laugh, and you go against some high-level cogs, and it's overall more helpful to keep each other alive than it is to just hit 4 cogs at the same time with -6. Sound is most prominent in the late game, doing things like factories for merits, or you're in boss battles, and you're not doing that until you've completed the game anyway. So generally, between tune-up and sound, the first thing I'm going to tell you to choose is actually tune-up, because this is what's going to help you progress through the game easier. And then the second choice between Drop and Lure, I'm anticipating most of you expect me to tell you to choose Lure. Well, surprise, surprise! I'm gonna tell you to choose Lure because it's in every way better than Drop. Okay, that wasn't really a surprise. Which will generally leave you between choosing Trap and Sound, in which most cases I'll tell you to choose Sound because it is so much better than Trap. And then again, in most cases, it leaves you in the final decision between Drop and Trap. And between those 2, it really doesn't make a huge difference, it's more of a preference. But I'll go over individually what gags you should be selecting when going through different lines in order to get to a certain specific tune type. So first I'm going to start with tune-up list. You're going to want to choose first Sound, then Lure, and then Trap, and then Drop. And that will perfectly leave you with tune-up list. And if you're going trapless, you'll want to start with getting tune-up, and then Lure, and then Sound, and then Drop. If you're going lureless, you start with tune-up, and then Drop, and then Sound, and then Trap. If you're going soundless, you'll start with tune-up, then Lure, then Trap, and then Drop. And finally, if you're going dropless, you'll start with tune-up, and then Lure, and then Sound, and then Trap. And these gag selections are going to help you the most when trying to progress through the game. In the early game, tune-up is very viable for keeping you alive, and then later in the game, sound is more helpful. And then Drop and Trap aren't necessities to help you get through the game, and they're not really adding much to your experience when trying to do tasks, so those usually come at the butt end of your gag selections. But let me know what you guys think of this, if you agree, or maybe even if you disagree. Maybe you think you should choose Sound first. Maybe you think Drop's a better selection than Lure. I would love to hear what you guys think and what you guys chose for your gags. But thank you guys for watching. You can leave a like if you like. It's your pal Mega Snoop, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Stay tuney, God bless, and peace.